Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjavidhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjavidhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjavidhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjavidhari Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Nectar of Devotion class. Today is Saturday, 5th December 2015. So we are in chapter 22, Qualities of Krishna. And so far we have completed 52 of them. And of course there is a long gap now. So today we'll take it from there onwards. Please, practice, we'll share them. Okay. So Rashmi Mataji can read.
Krishna is always remembered and his name is always chanted by millions of devotees. But the devotees never become saturated. Instead of becoming disinterested in thinking of Krishna and in chanting his holy name, the devotees get newer and newer impetus to continue the process. Therefore, Krishna is ever fresh. Not only Krishna himself, but also Krishna's knowledge is ever fresh. Bhagavad Gita, which was imparted 5,000 years ago, is still being read repeatedly by many, many men, and still new light is always being found in it. Therefore, Krishna and his name, fame, qualities, and everything in relationship with him is ever fresh. All the queens at Dwarka were goddesses of fortune. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 11th chapter, verse 33, that the goddesses of fortune are very fickle and restless, so no one can constantly captivate them. Thus, one's luck will always change sometimes. Yet the goddesses of fortune could not leave Krishna for even a moment when they were residing with him at Dwarka. This means that Krishna's attraction is ever fresh. Even the goddesses of fortune cannot leave his company. Regarding Krishna's attractive features, being ever fresh, it is a statement by Radharani in Lalita Madhava in which Krishna is compared to the greatest sculptor because he is expert in chiseling at chastity of woman. In other words, although chaste women may follow the rules and regulations of Vedic principles to become ever faithful to their husband, Krishna is able to break their stone-like chastity with the chisel of his beauty. Most of the girlfriends of Krishna were married, but because Krishna was their friend before their marriages, they could not forget his attractive features, which were always fascinating to them, even after their marriages.
Thank you. So this is a wonderful quality of Krishna, ever fresh. We are eternal souls, so we are also supposed to be ever fresh, but we are not. We are something in the morning, something in the afternoon, something in the evening, and then something in the night. In between, we change so many times. Sometimes we look fresh. Sometimes, some little problem in the body or something. If you are men, then you don't shave for 2 days, and all the wives start complaining. What is this? You are looking marriage. You look diseased. So we know that we are not always fresh. We are sometimes, as I said, we are fresh, especially when we are in front of Krishna, chanting and dancing. Then we look fresh. Doing some service of Krishna. Krishna's service can keep us fresh for long time, longer than normal. Like on Janmashtami, etc. We don't eat, and we have to work more on that day because of so many services, in the temple, at home, and so on. But then, because you are engaged in Krishna service, you don't feel that much. So, devotees always get some newer ideas. Like this is why we have this inspired soul group. There are so many other groups on Facebook here, there, which describe all these wonderful activities, and that gives us a motivation to remain Krishna conscious. So Srila Rupa Goswami says that even Krishna's knowledge is ever fresh. How many times we read Bhagavad Gita? How many times we try to understand it? There are people who have been doing it for years together. And of course, if you are not a devotee, then at one point in life you become disinterested because you feel that what is this going on? This was an old thing. We start speculating. But when we are a devotee, then whatever Krishna is saying is very, very wonderful. One Prabhu gave a wonderful example on this. He said the difference between material and spiritual. And he gave an example of circus. He said when we are child, we love circus. As a child, but when you grow up a little, maybe first time circus comes to your town, then you want to see it. But then suppose some friend comes and takes his son, hey, I am going to circus, why don't you come with me? Then you will go maybe one more time. Third time somebody says, you will say, no, you go, right? I'm busy, you will find some excuse. All is the same surface. But it doesn't happen with anything related with Krishna. It's not the same Krishna anymore. It's not the same chanting, same everything, like same Bhagavad Gita, same Bhagavatam. What is no, a devotee is ever eager to hear Krishna Katha. So here we see that everything about him is fresh. We find newer and newer ways of enjoying that freshness. And here then Srila Prabhupada gives the example of the queens of Dwaraka. They're always captivated by him. Every time. They did not want to leave Krishna even for a moment. And will anybody like to live with somebody who is boring, becoming older and older and things like that? No. His features are fresh. His speech is fresh. His whole presence. And of course, here it's talked about gopis and how they were before marriage. They were friends of Krishna, but even after marriage, they are not able to forget him. It's so difficult to forget Krishna. And of course, this is when they were present physically. Krishna was present; they were present. But even in our day-to-day life, we see this, that the attraction for Krishna grows more and more and more. Like my wife is always thinking of new dresses, new jewelry, When we go to the market, sometimes to the mall or something here, to buy something, her eyes will be looking for these items. When we are in Vrindavan, every shop she was just looking for something new for Krishna. Wherever we went, she said, oh, we have this flute. And she said, no, this flute is not as good. Or it is same flute. I would like to use some new flute. So we were going to the Loi Bazaar and asking various shops. And nobody had a long flute. All very short flutes. And when we asked for the long flute, so they said, oh, why you need a long flute? And she said, no, our Krishna looks better in a long flute. So like that. So nobody can deny, he is ever youth also, he is ever fresh also. Nava Yavana. And here is ever fresh. Always. We take the next quality, Satchidananda Vigraha. Every time we chant this. Kamalini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Krishna's transcendental body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. Sat means ever existing for all time and in all places. In other words, all pervading in time and space. Chit means full of knowledge. Krishna has nothing to learn from anyone. He is independently full of knowledge. Ananda means the reservoir of pleasure. The impersonalists are seeking to merge into the Brahman effulgence of eternity and knowledge. But the major portion of the absolute pleasure which is in Krishna is avoided by them. One can enjoy the transcendental blissfulness of merging into the Brahman effulgence after being freed from the contamination of material illusion, false identification, attachment, detachment, and material absorption. These are the preliminary qualifications of a person who can realize Brahman. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that one has to become full of joyfulness. This is not exactly joyfulness, but a sense of freedom from all anxieties. Freedom from all anxieties may be the first principle of joyfulness, but it is not actual joyfulness. Those who realize the self or become Brahma Bhuta Srimad Bhagavatam 4.30.20, are only preparing themselves for the platform of joyfulness. That joyfulness can be actually achieved only when one comes into contact with Krishna. Krishna consciousness is so complete that it includes the transcendental pleasure derived from impersonal or Brahman realization. Even the impersonalists will become attracted to the personal form of Krishna known as Shyama Sundara. It is confirmed by the statement of Brahma Samhita that the Brahman effulgence is the bodily ray of Krishna. The Brahman effulgence is simply an exhibition of the energy of Krishna. Krishna is the source of the Brahman effulgence, as he himself confirms in Bhagavad Gita. From this, we can conclude that the personal feature of the absolute truth is not the ultimate end. Krishna is the ultimate end of the absolute truth. The members of the Vaishnava school, therefore, never try to merge into the Brahman effulgence in their pursuit of spiritual perfection. They accept Krishna as the ultimate goal of self-realization. Therefore, Krishna is called Param Brahman, the Supreme Brahman, or Parameshwara, the Supreme Controller. Sri Yamunacharya has prayed as follows: My dear Lord, I know that the gigantic universe and gigantic space and time within the universe are covered by the 10 layers of the material elements, each layer 10 times larger than the previous one. The three material modes of nature, the Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, the Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, the Mahavishnu, and beyond them the spiritual sky and its spiritual planets known as Vaikunthas and the Brahman effulgence in that spiritual sky, all of these taken together are nothing but a small exhibition of your potency. Very bold.
Very powerful.
Yes.
Satchitananda Vigraha Anadiradirvo Sarvakaranakara. So, once we understand this situation of Krishna as Satchidananda Vigraha, Satchidananda you will hear everywhere. Even the impersonalists also talk of that, They call it Brahmananda. But here, the only thing which is missing from their description is Vigraha, form. Krishna is not formless. He is a form. Except that this form is transcendental. And because of that, that form is able to give us non-stop pleasure. He himself is a non-stop pleasure and he can give us Sat. Sat means eternal, right? And it's always conscious. That is again, we as a Jiva also have the same quality. We are also supposed to be Satchidananda Vigraha. But we are become unfortunately Asat, Acheta, Nirananda because of the association with the material world. So here, Ananda is described by Rupa Goswami as the reservoir of all pleasure. So this is the major loss of Mayavadis. They can never have that Ananda. They get, as I said, they get the Brahmananda by merging into the Brahman. But then Rupa Goswami has compared this Brahmananda as a water contained in the hoof print of a cow compared to the ocean, Sagara, Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu, Rasa Amrita Sindhu, Bhakti gives that. And that comes from Krishna. So, Krishna has this quality in abundance. We have in limit. That's the difference, right? So here, Hare Krishna. अभी 54 में है माता जी. So merging in the Brahman is like, getting rid of your anxieties. So that itself is considered by them as Ananda. So Rupa Goswami says that is not Ananda. That's that's the beginning of Ananda, right? You got rid of your anxieties. You're full of anxiety in the material world, and then you got rid of it, and then you go to the Brahma Jyoti. So you got rid of it. But then, where is the Ananda now? It's like you had some sort of boil on your body, and you get rid of it somehow. Naturally, you feel better. But that doesn't guarantee that you'll remain blissful, isn't it? There's no guarantee. There's something else may pop up. So the ultimate joy is in the service. So here Rupa Goswami says that is the first principle. It's not bad situation, it's the first principle. But actually it is not joyfulness. Only you are preparing. And if you take up the Krishna Seva, then everything else becomes blissful eternally. And Srila Prabhupada says that sometimes even the Mayavadis get this. When they go to the temple, they can't say that, oh, Krishna is not looking good or something. They may not accept him as the supreme, but they get attracted. The Krishna is such that he attracts. His name itself is Krishna, one who attracts. But they don't show that, because then they have to surrender. That's their problem. They have to surrender. So they will just say, oh, it's a nice murti, idol. They'll talk like that, statue. But a devotee knows that it is not, Vigraha is not murti, Vigraha is not statue. It's not idol either. So here, this whole exercise is for reassuring a devotee that you are not inferior. You are not some sentimental fool. You are the one who is actually enjoying the real Ananda. So the devotees take Krishna as Parameshwara, Param Brahma, everything, Arjuna declares, right? The 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It calls Krishna Param, everything, Of course, and it's explained here that how Krishna Loka is beyond even the Vaikunthas. Vaikunthas are in themselves, 10 layers of material existence. One 10 times stronger, and like that it goes up. And then you come to the Karana Sagara. Karana Sagara is like the border of material and spiritual worlds. Then once you cross that, then you enter Vaikuntha Loka. And within the Vaikuntha Loka, there is Ayodhya, there is Navadvip, there is everything, different. Narsimha, Dhama. And then above all is Goloka Vrindavan. And that's where Krishna lives forever. So, we take the next one. Hare Krishna Mataji, can you read the 55? हाँ जी 53, 54 अभी क्या आपको सुनाई नहीं आ रहा क्या माता जी? अभी 55 पढ़िए आप, 55 पढ़िए। $55।
Thank you very much.
पढ़िए।
Acha. There are many standards of perfection. The highest material perfection obtained by perfect yogis are listed as 8. To become the smallest of the small, to become the greatest of the great, etc. All these material perfections as well as all spiritual perfections can be found fully in Krishna's personality.
So this is Siddhis, Ashta Siddhi. Become smaller than the smallest, lighter than the lightest, heavier than the heaviest, bigger than the biggest. To read somebody's mind and to control all the planets, and like that there are Ashta Siddhis. And this is what the people are after. Of course, not everybody can get them because it's very hard work. And that's why some people go for that. Some people who want to do something extraordinary, they get attracted by the siddhis. And when somebody shows the siddhis, something like that, then it becomes a miracle. And then the people love miracles. If you show some miracle, you'll get thousands and millions of followers. If you don't show miracles, but you talk sense, then people are not so much attracted. They say, what are these people are, very dry. They're not showing anything. Prabhupada was asked this question many, many times. What miracle you can show? Of course, Prabhupada did show some miracles. But he was generally not interested in showing or anything. One time, somebody asked him, Swami, can you sleep on the bed of nails? Because some yogis do that. And Prabhupada says, no. I don't want to torture my body with the nails or something. But Prabhupada says, I can show you something which all these yogis may not be able to show you. He was asked, what is that? Prabhupada says, if I am in a room and a lot of naked ladies come, I will not be affected. Meaning, all my senses are under control. That is important. This physical torture and this poking your tongue with something and whipping yourself and all that is all at the lower modes. There was one guru, Vaishnava guru. He was in the same disciplic succession, parampara. So he was also very strict with his disciples about the sadhana, chanting and getting up early and everything. He was just very, very strict on that. So one time, these disciples, they go to the city for something, and there they see some board that some siddhi person is there. So they go to see that, and that person shows that he has gone into the air and this and that, take you to this planet and that planet, and through his siddhi he can do that too. So they are very highly impressed with that person. New devotees, not yet very fixed in their Krishna consciousness. So they started asking the spiritual master, Guruji. Guruji, see, we went there and he just said he can fly us to this planet and that planet. Can you do that? And Guruji said, have you chanted your rounds today? Have you read Bhagavad Gita? He was asking questions. No, but Guruji, we are asking about the Siddhi, like, he said, first you do what I asked you to do. You are not qualified for all this. So one of them said, but I think you are qualified. So can you do that? And Guruji still said, come on, let's not waste time on that. We have come here to serve Krishna. All this is not our job. So they went on, pestering him. And somehow they started losing faith in him that, he cannot do anything. So he could see that, he has to do something, otherwise his disciples may, He's not bothered about losing the disciples, but, he says, out of compassion, that his fellow will go back to this material world and again be lost. So it was in the morning and he was actually brushing his teeth with the neem twig, that datun. So he just threw the datun on the ground and stood on that. As he stands, the datun takes off, And the disciples see that the Guru is flying in the air, he goes beyond their vision. Just like that. And then he comes back. He gets off the neem twig. He just tells the disciples, okay, go chant your rounds. Don't waste time. So these siddhis are like that in the material world. But Krishna has even that, Krishna has all the siddhis we have seen. He can transform anything into anything. He can stop the sun from setting. So many examples are there that, where Krishna shows his siddhis. When he goes to Duryodhana and party, there again, he shows everything. Bit by bit, here and there, like that. So Krishna has these qualities, siddhis. We'll take one more. Krishna's inconceivable potencies. Krishna is present everywhere, not only within the universe, not only within the hearts of all living entities, but also within every atom. In the prayers of Queen Kunti, we find mention of this inconceivable potency of Krishna. While Krishna was talking with Kunti, he simultaneously entered the womb of Uttara, who was in danger due to the atomic weapon of the Ashwatthama. Krishna can illusion even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, and he can protect all surrendered devotees from the reactions of sinful activities. These are some of the examples of his inconceivable potency. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore offers his obeisances unto Krishna by saying, Krishna, who is present as a human being, has as his mere shadow the whole material nature. He has expanded himself into so many cows and cowherd boys, and as he has again manifested himself in all of them as the four-handed Narayan. He has taught millions of Brahmas self-realization, and thus he is worshipable not only by the heads of all universes, but by everyone else also. Therefore, let me always accept him as the Supreme Personality of God. When Indra was defeated by Krishna in the matter of taking the Parijat plant from heaven, Narada met Indra and criticized him. O Indra, great king of heaven, Krishna has already defeated Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, so what can be said of an insignificant demigod like you, Devata like you? Narada Muni, of course, was criticizing Indra jokingly, and Indra enjoyed it. In Narada's statement, it is confirmed that Krishna was able to illusion even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, as well as Indra. So there is no question of Krishna's power to do the same to lesser living entities. A description of Krishna's power was in minimizing the sufferings of sinful reactions is given in the Brahma Samhita as follows. Beginning from the great king of heaven down to the ant, everyone is undergoing the reactions of past deeds. But a devotee of Krishna is relieved from such reactions by the grace of Krishna. This was clearly proved when Krishna went to the place of Yamaraj, the Lord of Death, to reclaim the dead son of his teacher. Krishna's teacher had requested Krishna to bring back his dead son, and to do so, Krishna went to the place of Yamaraj to claim that soul, who had been brought there by Yamaraj and was being kept under his control. Krishna immediately ordered Yamaraj, "Be benefited by my order and return that soul unto me." The purport of this incident is that even a person who is under the regulative principles of the laws of nature and is therefore punishable by Yamaraj under these laws can be granted complete immunity by the grace of Krishna. Krishna's inconceivable potencies have been described by Shukadeva Goswami as follows. Krishna is bewildering my intelligence because, although he is unborn, he has appeared as the son of Nanda Maharaj. He is all-pervading, but still he is held on the lap of Yashoda. In spite of his being all-pervasive, he has become limited by the love of Yashoda. Although he has innumerable forms, still he is moving as one Krishna before his father and mother, Nanda and Yashoda. In the Brahma Samhita also it is said that although Krishna is eternally living in Goloka Vrindavan, his transcendental abode is still present everywhere, even within the atoms. So, Achintya Shakti, Krishna's inconceivable potency. Achintya Shakti. We can see that so many examples are given here by Rupa Goswami. Krishna has inconceivable potency. We know that in Krishna Katha we come to know about this inconceivable potency all over. He can, here the examples are given of Indra. And then it says that Krishna took care of Brahma, Shiva, everybody. And then these prayers, they all just come to one conclusion, that nobody is equal to or greater than Krishna. As simple as that. So naturally, this kind of quality is very, very easy for Krishna to acquire, because he is Parameshwara, Parama Ishvara. You know, the example of bringing back Sandipuni's son from Yamaraj. Nobody has done that, right? But Krishna goes and orders, so that's again, confirms his superior position. Sometimes even devotees have a doubt, they ask this question sometimes. Will Krishna be able to do that? Or something, is it under Krishna's control? So that's very funny, because how can there be anything which is not in Krishna's control? And we are talking, when devotees and others talk, they're talking at a very low level, where Krishna doesn't have to even do it himself. He can get it done just like that. So these wonderful qualities, motivate us to take up to Krishna consciousness. I'd like to stop here. Thank you very much. If you want to add something, or if you have any doubts, questions, please go ahead. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Anything and everything about Krishna is so nice. Anything you enjoyed so much, any number of times, you listen to them. It's very nice. I was watching this little Krishna, the darling of Vrindavana, on the YouTube, Prabhuji. It is so. It is of course a movie, but it's beautiful the way Krishna. That's what I was wondering. So just seeing that itself, we feel so happy. So how the gopis must have felt in the presence of Krishna, really. So how fortunate they are. It's very nice, Prabhuji. Nice, all the descriptions given here. Very nice. Thank you very much for the class, Prabhuji. Very much.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. I'm बोलने के बाद खूब बढ़िया सुनाई दिया. ऐसी कृपा करते तो सारी कॉन्फ्रेंसेस में अच्छी तरह
Okay, Mata.
enjoy करूँगी.
Hare Krishna.
ऐसे कृष्णा बोलने के बाद अच्छी तरह सुनाई देने लगी.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Like you see, it is explain how Krishna can control the souls. Like, and this is I had an experience of, like, when my mother was really suffering, and that is on the material level, Prabhuji. And that time only Krishna's Charnamrut has saved her, and that is a real experience I have. I have seen in my life. So I am really 100%, 101% more than that. Like, Krishna can do anything and everything, Prabhuji.
Oh yes.
That's what I wanted to share. It's a wonderful, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.